Hey everyone, Hare Krishna. Welcome to our final Cooking for Lord Krishna session. I'm so happy to be here today with you all. Today we have some simple, exciting preps that we're gonna make. So if you're going to cook with us, please gather some ingredients. I'm gonna show you just now what do we need for today's session. So we will be making Italian gnocchi. It's something like dumplings, if you are familiar with that. It's like we're gonna boil the potatoes and then mash it. Can you give us an option to unmute? Let me try. So where do I go for that? Yeah, I think it's easier when you have that option, then you can just ask questions. Yes, I understand. So
Yeah, ma'am, it's done.
Mataji, you are in mute, Mataji.
sorry about that. So I think you should be able to speak now. When you have a question, you can just go ahead and ask. Should be okay now. So the first preparation, we will be making Italian gnocchi. It's a dish that is very famous in Italy. It's made from potatoes and flour, and you combine it together and then boil it. So I'll show you that. And then we'll be making some rice flour patties where we're going to use rice flour. I hope that is available in India. Should be. Rice flour, and we'll combine it with hot water. I already boiled my hot water so that speeds up the process. So we'll combine it together and then press it down into patties and fry it in a little bit of oil or ghee. And that could be your lovely breakfast, or sometimes when you're tired of chapatis, you can make these rice flour patties. They're also very delicious and lighter than chapatis, I would say, in a sense that, it's not that filling. It's a light meal. And then we will be making a breakfast option that you can make yourself the day before. So you can prepare your breakfast at night, put it in the fridge, and in the morning you have your breakfast. So that will be done with oats, and we'll combine it with some little bit of spices, turmeric, cinnamon, and we'll sprinkle some toppings on top. If you have banana, you can sprinkle. We can saute it, make it like caramelized banana or apple. I think I'll be using apple today, and some dates. So let's begin. Let's begin with boiling the potatoes because that will take some time. But as usual, before we start, we offer a prayer to the Lord, to our Guru, the Gurus, teachers, so that we can be successful in our offering. So we can bring the palms together and repeat the mantra. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Jai. So Hare Krishna, and let's look at the ingredients that we have for today's session. So for the gnocchis, we need some potatoes. I'm using sweet potatoes, but you can just use regular potatoes, no problem. I just prefer sweet potatoes. I like them better. But gnocchis, traditionally, they are made with regular white potatoes, which are easily available. So we'll boil that. Then we need some flour for the gnocchis. So I am using this stout flour. So in India, you can use chapati flour. That will do. Then for the rice patties, we need rice flour. This rice flour. We need some salt. And for the sweet preparation for our overnight oats, we need some dates.
Ma'am, every day there are more than 17 participants. Today there are only 7.
We need oats. We'll need a little bit of butter for our gnocchis. Basil, dry basil, or any other dried herbs. Cinnamon and turmeric. So this is what we need for our preparations today. So I'm boiling my water. I'm going to add some salt. This will be more the potatoes. Your potatoes. First, we need to peel them. So, wash them carefully. I'm gonna peel it and chop it into small cubes. So when you chop it smaller, then it cooks faster. If you chop it big, then it takes more time to cook. So I'm making small quantity here. So we're gonna use 1 potato. If you're making for more people, then maybe take 4 potatoes, at least 2 potatoes. Be very careful with the knife that you don't hurt yourself. Now into smaller cubes.
Ma'am, what are you making this? Forgot the name.
Say it again, I couldn't hear your question.
Ma'am, what are you making this? Like
This is, we are making Italian gnocchi. It's an Italian dish where we're gonna cook the potato. This is sweet potato, but you can use white.
okay.
We're gonna boil the potato.
Ma'am, can we boil it in a cooker?
Yeah, you can boil it in a cooker. And now let's make this come to a boil, and then we're gonna cook it for about 10 minutes. We'll see once it's soft. Once it's soft, then we're gonna drain it and mash it with a fork or a masher. We're gonna mash it and then add the flour, combine it into dough and cut it into pieces, and then boil it in water again. And then our gnocchis. So let's give it some time. And now in the meantime, we're gonna mix the rice flour with hot water for our rice. So again, I'm making small quantity. I'm adding about.
Ma'am, you just ma'am, you just cooked the gnocchi like just that. Do you have to
What's
put
the
some?
question again?
Do you have to put some oil or anything in the pan before cooking the gnocchi?
No, no need. When you're boiling the potatoes, you don't need to put oil.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so this is rice flour, about almost a cup, and I'm adding a little bit of salt to the rice flour. Mix it. And now slowly we're gonna add to this mixture hot water, hot boiling water, so be careful. And as you're adding water, start mixing with a spoon to combine into dough. And then you see if you need more, but we don't want this to be too dry or too liquid. So add accordingly, very slowly.
Ma'am, it's boiling water, no?
Sorry?
It's boiling water, no?
Boiling water, yes. For the rice patties, we need boiling hot water to combine the rice flour together. So that's why I'm mixing with a spoon, because it's very, very
Warm
hot.
water will not be okay?
Sorry?
Warm water?
Hot water.
Okay.
Miss, what do you put for the rice patties again?
For the rice patties, I put about 1 cup of rice flour and a little bit of salt, maybe half a teaspoon of salt, and hot water, enough to make it like a combined mixture.
Okay.
And this is coming together. I can see that it's a little bit too liquid. I added too much water. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add a little bit more of rice flour to reduce the liquidness, the liquidy quantity here. So you can adjust accordingly. And like press it down with a spoon so it's nicely combined. So let's see how it's looking now. Still a little too soft. I want it to be a little bit more firm. So adding slightly more flour and give it another mix. This should be fine. I'm gonna use my hands and shape it into little balls and then patties. So this can rest for a little bit. Okay, this is looking lovely. With white snow. You probably have never seen snow in India, but here in Europe, in Lithuania, winters are full of snow. So this rice patty mixture looks like snow right now. I'm gonna let it rest for a minute while preparing my pan. Potatoes are still cooking. Cooked in olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, but if you have ghee, ghee is perfect. Coconut oil. So let me show you now how to shape them.
Ma'am,
So
your
what?
voice was cutting. So what you said?
What is that? So I like to take a little plastic bag and cut it like this so that the patties don't stick to the surface. So I put one down here and then I'll put one more as I shape it to the patties. So let me now take a little bit, a small piece. It depends what size you want. I prefer them a little bit bigger. So I'm taking about 2 tablespoons of the dough, roll it into the bowl. This. And then I put it down, put another piece of the plastic bag on top, and then press it down with a plate or something that is flat. You press it down, and in this way you get a nice shape of a patty or a pancake. Like that. There you go. And now the pan is hot. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of oil. Let it get hot as well. Start frying. Meantime, one more. It's nice when they're same size, so try to get similar size of the balls. Another one. Another ball. We can press it down. I think we can do more of this. So this is very easy and quick to make. For breakfast, lunch, or even dinner. Quick snack. And it goes nice with some kind of chutney. Maybe coriander chutney, tomato chutney, whatever. So we got our balls. So this one, be careful not to break them. They can break very easy. I'm gonna wash my hands. So now the trick is to remove it safely from the bag. It breaks, you can pack it together. Let's do the rest. You can put it on a plastic bag so that it doesn't stick to the surface. Then put another one on top. Press it down with a plate, the back of the plate, or some kind of, flat surface. Remove the top plastic bag and then carefully take it out. Mm. More. Gently press. Okay, we got 3 in. One more left. And if you want a nice shape, then before you press it down, roll it once more into nice ball. and then press. A little bit better. And I need a spatula, so let me see if I can. Takes about maybe 3 to 5 minutes on one side, and then you flip it the other.
Miss, ma'am, in the rice patty, do you have to add anything before cooking the rice patties?
I'm sorry, somehow my volume is very low today, so I can't hear your question so clearly. Can you say again?
Yeah. When you cook the rice patty, do you have to put oil before you do it?
No, you don't need to put, you just put oil on the pan, but you don't put the oil into the mixture. The mixture is only rice flour, salt, and hot water. And when you're frying, you put a little bit of oil into the pan. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. And also, in the gnocchi, it looks like there's some liquid in it. Do you have to put it in the pan?
Yes, so for the gnocchi, what we're doing, we're boiling hot water with potatoes. We're cooking that in water, and then we're gonna drain it. So that's how it goes.
So you have to put in hot water when you cook it.
Yeah, you boil it in hot water.
Mataji,
Thank
I
you,
had
ma'am.
some problems. That's why I couldn't join today at 6:30. Ma'am, what are we making, ma'am?
Sorry, can you say again? We couldn't hear you.
Ma'am, I couldn't join today at right time. That's why. What are we making, ma'am?
Sure, I'll just explain in a moment. 1 second.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, so, okay, now I can hear better. So what we're doing now, in the hot water, we're cooking boiling potato. My potato is orange because I'm using sweet potato, but here you can cook regular potato. Once the potato is soft, we're gonna drain it. I'm just checking how it's going. Yeah, it's almost there. We're gonna drain it and mash it with flour and shape it into gnocchis and cook the gnocchis. And here what we're doing, we're making rice patties. So what we did, we took about a cup of rice flour. Here's rice flour. We took about a cup of that and added a pinch of salt into that. And then poured hot boiling water on top. And with a spoon, we mixed it and shaped it into a ball. And then we pressed it into these little patties and we're frying them in a little bit of oil. So that's what's going on right now. Takes a few more minutes to fry the patties. Maybe I can make one more space for one more so that they're all done in time.
Ma'am, is it momos?
No, these are not momos. These are rice flour patties.
Okay.
Yeah, momos are really nice. I love momos. But today we're not making momos. Maybe some other time. So let's give this some time. And now we can drain our potatoes. We want to keep the water because we will need the water to cook our gnocchis. So just strain it in a strainer, and then we put the water back in the pot. Back on the stove. And now we can mash the potato. So take a fork or a masher and really go like until you get smooth, kind of puree, potato puree. Then we'll add a little bit of spices and flour. Okay, I think this should be okay. I need a spoon here. So this is our potato puree, mashed potatoes. Let's add some spices. And into this, we can add just a little bit, maybe a teaspoon of oil. We can add some salt. This should be okay. We can add a little bit of black pepper.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, when you were doing the rice patties, na, I have connected to headphones, but there was a network issue, so I could not hear. So, like, I heard that you added rice flour, salt, boiling water, and after that, what you did?
And then that was it. We shaped it into balls and
Okay.
then pressed it down to shape it into patties. That's it. It's only two ingredients, only rice flour, salt, and hot water. That's it. And then you shape it into patties. You don't even need to press it down like I did. You can just shape it with your hand and put it on the pan with a little bit of oil to fry them. That's how they look right now.
Ma'am, no spices in that?
Sorry?
No spices in that?
No, I didn't put any spices. These are plain. It's almost like chapatis. So there's no spices. It's just rice flour, salt, hot water. That's it. But again, you can be creative. You can make your own way of making rice patties. You can put spices. You can put the turmeric to make it brown, yellow. Yeah, whatever you like. So this is back to our gnocchi base. So this is mashed potato, black pepper, teaspoon of olive oil, half a teaspoon of salt. I'm adding a little bit of basil, dry basil. It's optional, you don't need to. And now we're gonna add the flour and mix it together. So I'm using chapati flour. So we'll add accordingly. Let's begin with about half a cup. And then if we need more, then we'll add more. So we're trying to shape it into a dough-like consistency so that it sticks together. Now the potato is hot, so be careful when mixing it. Maybe start with a spoon, and then we can go in with our hands. Press it with a spoon really nice so that the flour combines with the potato. And now let's have a look on our pancakes or rice patties. Be careful so they don't get burnt. Now they're getting a little crunchy, a little brown on one side. This is how I like them, to be a little bit brownish and a little bit crunchy. And inside they are still nice and soft. So we're almost done here. Just a few more minutes. And this is also coming together. Now we can go in with our hands. Excuse me, Krishna. So find a nice clean surface where you can roll them out. I'm just gonna remove my pancakes. I think they're done. Just switching off the fire. Okay, this is good. So see how, oops. This is our rice patties. It's very nice with some kind of chutney. That's how they look. We're gonna put it aside. And let's get into our gnocchis. So initially it may be a little bit sticky. So you might need to add a little bit more flour to the dough. So now we want to roll it into nice big roll and chop it into smaller pieces. You can sprinkle some flour on the surface and kind of roll it with your hands. Be careful, we don't want to break it, or we don't want to make it too dry. If you add too much flour, it will become a little too dry. Okay. So size, you can decide yourself what shape or size you want to make them. Doesn't really matter. Traditionally, gnocchis are about this size, and you press a fork into the gnocchis so they have this kind of pattern. But you can be creative and make your own in your own way, whatever you come up with. So I think this should be okay. Maybe a little bit more thinner. Then we can cut them. So just go like this, cut them into smaller sizes. And now we're gonna add them to the hot boiling water. Even though our potatoes are already cooked, but the flour that we added is not cooked. So now we need to put them back in the water. And here, like you have these pieces, but you can create some kind of pattern. You can maybe press with a knife like this, so they look more interesting. Or you can put like a little bit, some lines, or what else can you do? You can shape it in whatever way you want, maybe like a little kind of bow. So I'm just gonna keep them simple like that. And we put it into hot boiling salted water slowly so that it doesn't splash. And we'll cook it until they kind of come to surface. So maybe I need to add a little bit. Oh, sorry.
Ma'am, is that the water you strained from the potato?
Yes, it's the same water. I'm using the same water. So it already has some salt in there and it's already hot. So I'm recycling the water. If you want, you can put new water as well, it's fine. If you already chucked it out, then you can just have new hot water. I will just open the door.
Ma'am, will you be sharing this recipe in group?
Yes, I will be sharing these recipes in the group, but it will take a little bit of time because I'm traveling right now. I don't have my laptop with me, but once I get back, then I'll send you the recipe so you can try on your own time.
Okay.
So now let's make the gnocchis come to a boil. And once you see them coming to the surface, then you know that they're done, and then you can strain it. So let me put the heat a little bit more, maybe on 8. It takes about 5 to 8 minutes. We will keep an eye on it. And now while that is cooking away, let's get to our last preparation for today, which is our simple overnight oats, which is a great breakfast idea. It gives you a lot of energy and it's very simple to make. Let's just make some space here so we have some clarity in our mind what we're doing. It's always nice to keep your working space nice and clear. So we're not gonna need these. We're gonna need these. We're gonna wash these. So what we need some kind of a container, maybe just a regular bowl or a plate, somewhere where you can store it in the fridge. So I'm taking this glass and I'm gonna add a little bit of oats, maybe half a cup. This should be enough. Then I'm gonna add my spices. So whatever spices you like, sweet spices are really good for this prep. So maybe if you have cinnamon, it's always nice. Cardamom powder. Then what else you can use? Turmeric.
First, what we added, ma'am? First in that glass.
Say it again.
First, what we added to that glass, ma'am? That white thing.
This is oats.
Okay.
You can use fast cooking oats, which is kind of pre-cooked already. I'm using whole oats. So this, when you're cooking this, it takes a bit more time. But we're not cooking it. We're just gonna keep it overnight, and in this way, it absorbs all the water and becomes soft.
Okay.
I'm adding a pinch of turmeric.
Ma'am, what are
So
we
what is
making?
that?
What is it?
So what you added?
So this is our overnight oats. I added oats, cinnamon, and turmeric. And now I'm gonna add some chopped dates. So grab some dates or any other dry fruit that you like. Wash it first.
Excuse me. What do we need to do with the boiled potatoes?
What is it?
What do we need to do with the boiled potatoes?
So once you boil your potatoes, mash it so it becomes puree-like. So you can take a fork and press it down with a fork or with a masher, just to basically make it more smooth and kind of one mass. And then once you did with that, once you're done with your potatoes, then you add some spices. You add a little bit of salt, and then add, if you want, black pepper, and add flour, chapati flour. Mix it all together and shape it into dough. So once you have like a chapati dough, it's like chapati dough with potato inside. Then you roll it into nice big roll, chop it into small chunks like this, and then put it into boiling water. That's your gnocchis. So I chopped up some dates for our overnight oats. I don't need all this much, so I'm adding just a little bit.
Miss, what are we making?
This is our breakfast preparation, oats. Oats that you don't need to cook, that you just put in the fridge for the night. And then next morning, if you want it hot, you can add a little bit of hot water so that you have hot breakfast.
So, Miss, ma'am, you've added oats.
Oats, cinnamon, turmeric, and dates. Give it a mix. Mix it well, and we see now that the water is kind of too much, but don't worry. When you keep the oats, then all the water gets absorbed, and then you have nice porridge for the morning. So this we're gonna keep away, and I'm gonna show you how to make some lovely toppings to go with this. And at this stage, you can add some sweetener. So if you like honey or date syrup or agave nectar, whatever sweetener you like, you can add some here. I'm using dates, so it's already sweet enough. I'm just mixing it well. And you can cover it and put it away.
Man, to make that liquidy, so you put milk or water?
Milk would be really nice. So if you have milk, you can make with milk. I didn't have milk today, so I made it with water.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, let's have a look at our gnocchis. They're slowly coming to surface. So we're almost done here. Once they're floating like that, you can start scooping them out. Okay, we'll need some plate here. So let's grab a strainer. So if you have something like this for maybe making pakoras, then this is very useful. Be careful so you don't break them. Strain all the
Ma'am,
water.
how can we eat it? Like this only?
Say it again.
How should we eat it? Like with some chutney
So
or
I'm
like
going to
this?
show you how you can make it a little bit more interesting or a little bit more tasty. So we're going to make some kind of buttery sauce. Let's just let it cool a little bit. So let's keep it aside for a moment. And we need a pan to make a topping for our oats, overnight oats. So I'm just emptying the rice patties out here. So this is done. Let's stick a nice one on top. This is done. And now we can use the same pan and just caramelize some apples. Or if you have banana, you can use banana. So we're gonna chop a little bit of the apple. And just smallish kind of slices like that. And this will go on top of the oats to kind of give a little bit more flavor and taste to our morning breakfast. So this much is enough for one portion. I'm just adding this to the pan. And we can add some sugar. If you have brown sugar, then that's definitely better.
Ma'am, you added apple, no, ma'am.
What is that?
Ma'am, you added what to the pan? Ma'am? What did you add to the pan?
To the pan, you just put a little bit of oil if your pan is, sticky.
Okay,
This one is non-stick, so I didn't even need to add oil. I'm just adding a little bit of sugar so it caramelizes the apples. Okay. And now we can add a little bit of cinnamon. And just cayenne pepper. Here we go. It smells really amazing. You could do the same with bananas or any other fruit that is kind of sweet. So let's put this away, and now let's prepare some kind of sauce for the gnocchis. So gnocchis, they can be served in many different ways. You can add like a tomato sauce on top, or you can add cashew sauce simply by blending the cashew nuts, soak cashew nuts with some spices, lemon juice, and like that, make it nice and creamy. And today we're gonna keep it really simple. We're just gonna, once the apples are done, we're gonna melt some butter and add a little bit of herbs, dry herbs. So we're gonna use some basil, dry basil, and we're gonna use some oregano, dry oregano. These are our like Italian herbs to give our gnocchis real Italian flavor. So we're gonna keep it like that and drizzle the butter on top of the gnocchis. That will be it. So let's turn the apples so both sides get nicely cooked, kind of brown and caramelized with the sugar. So this makes our overnight oats. It gives so much flavor and taste to it. It just makes it completely different. So definitely try it out. You can of course keep the oats simple, just with the dry fruit and the spices. That's also very nice and filling. But if you want to make it special, then this is a great topping. So let's make some space here. Just gonna put this away in the fridge to use it for the next time. And now the apples are done, so I'm just gonna top it up right now, even though this would have to sit overnight. And usually I would add the apples in the morning so that it's nice and hot. Then it's really, really tasty. But just to show you how it's done, I did it now. But my tip would be to do the cooked caramelized fruit in the morning and then put it on top of your oat porridge. So now let's just add it on top. Be careful, it's really hot. See how nice they look from the other side. Lovely. And the cinnamon flavor is just so beautiful for the morning. It really warms you up and it gives that boost of energy. That's it. That's your lovely breakfast.
Ma'am, we will get the, ma'am, where will we get the recordings of the class?
Yes, the class is recorded, so you can go back and look at the class and see, whatever you missed.
And no, ma'am, where will we get that recorded classes?
It will be posted on the group, WhatsApp group. Yes. Okay, now I'm grabbing like maybe 3 tablespoons of butter. Put it in the pan. Let it melt away. And slowly we can add our spices. Maybe the heat is too much. I'm gonna add some oregano. Maybe half a teaspoon. Dry basil. And black pepper or cayenne pepper. I'm using cayenne pepper. Just a pinch, it's very hot. And now we can add our gnocchis back into the pan to give them a little bit of crust. So that goes back in. And mix it well.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Do we need to put milk in the oats?
You can put milk in the oats or you can put water. Up to you. Now the gnocchis are becoming slightly brown. So it's really nice. It's a little bit crunchy from the outside and soft on the inside.
Ma'am, you put the gnocchi back on the pan.
Yes, I put the gnocchi back on the pan. You don't need to, but I find it tastes better when you fry it again in a little bit of oil, or this time we're frying in a little bit of butter with the spices like dry herbs. So this is how we're doing today. Just kind of crispy. We don't use any other sauce. So this is our kind of sauce for today for the gnocchis.
So you basically melt some butter and you put the gnocchi on it.
Exactly, that's right. Okay, so this is nicely cooking away. We want to make sure that all the sides get a little bit fried and crusty. So just turn it around, maybe increase the fire. And we're almost done here. So in the meantime, we can clean up our space, put away what you don't need. And give it a few moments for the gnocchi to fry. And let's see how it's doing. Lovely. If you want, you can also make like a yogurt sauce to go with this. Just mix yogurt with a little bit of olive oil and some fresh herbs. That's also very nice. Okay, just 2 more minutes. And let's have a look at our other preparation. So here we have our rice patties, our morning breakfast overnight oats with some caramelized apple with cinnamon. And gnocchis are almost ready. Let me see what's the time now. If we're doing okay. Okay, we should finish just now. So I'm just gonna explain one more time what we did today, just briefly, and in an overview. So this is almost ready. Now with all that juicy butter, we're gonna pour it onto our plate, switch off the fire, and all this goodness goes here. Would be nice to top it up with some fresh herbs to make it look beautiful. But today we don't have anything like that available. So anyway, this will do. So here we go. We have our, let's begin with the rice patties. So what we did with the rice patties was we took about a cup of rice flour, added a half a teaspoon of salt, and then hot boiling water. And with a spoon, we mixed it to form a dough like consistency. And then we took a bowl, a size of a bowl, and press it down to make it into patty, and then fried it in a little bit of oil or ghee. And that's our rice patties, rice flour patties. that you can eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner with some kind of chutney, or even sabji. It's also nice. Then we have our gnocchis, which we made by, first of all, we took a potato, peeled it, chopped it into cubes, and boiled it in hot water, in boiling water for about 10 minutes until it's soft. And then we mashed it with a fork or with a masher into smooth kind of, like we just completely mashed the potato, and then added about a half teaspoon of salt, black pepper, and a little bit of oil, maybe a teaspoon of oil. And then we added chapati flour and mixed it together until we got like a chapati dough consistency. We rolled it out and then chopped it up into gnocchi sizes, or like these kind of little chunks. And then again, we put it back in hot boiling water and boiled it for 5-7 minutes until the gnocchis come to the surface. And then we strained it. Then we took a pan, added a little bit of butter and dry basil, oregano, and cayenne pepper, and we fried the gnocchis in butter. So that's how we made our Italian gnocchis today. There's many different variations. You can try them out, making gnocchis in many different ways, many different sauces. Today we kept it simple with butter. And then we finally have some our overnight oats or breakfast oats, where we have oats. We added turmeric, cinnamon, and what else we put? Dates, chopped dates, or any other dry fruit. Mix it together and then top it up with some fried apple slices, where you slice the apple and fry in a pan with a little bit of sugar and cinnamon, and top it up. That's it. Any questions? So I'll send the recipes at some point next week. And I hope you try these recipes at home. And let me just see how to swap this around. So thank you so much for cooking with us today. It's our final session with this Cooking for Krishna course. And I hope to see you sometime in the future. I really had so much fun sharing these simple recipes with you. And I hope that it inspires you to cook something lovely for Krishna, for his pleasure. Offer it with love and devotion, and then you can enjoy this wonderful, healthy prasadam. So thank you very much.
We can have any another fest after some time, Krishna.
Say it again.
And we can have once another class also after this one, after some time.
Yes, would be my pleasure. Thank you so much. Any other questions or final thoughts? Yes, Shashi, I can see you're raising your hand.
Miss, I want to ask, ma'am, I want to ask something for a long time. As if when we made the granola bars, the oat bars, can you, is there a replacement for the oats instead?
For the granola bars, what else can you use instead of oats? I would need to think about it. Because granola bars, that's why they're called granola bars, because they're made with oats. What else has this texture? You could bake something by using like flour, different flours, and adding different nuts and dry fruits, but then you would need to bake it. So it would be a completely different recipe.
Oh, yeah. So you need oats.
Yeah, oats really help with granola recipes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, looks like we're done for today. Thank you so much. And wishing you all the best, and keep cooking and trying new recipes for Lord Shri Krishna for his pleasure. And you can then taste wonderful prasadam. So keep experimenting, keep learning, and wishing you all the best. Hare Krishna.